One of my buddies sent me last night, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, how did I not know about this? Now, this right here is the gentleman who sent this to me, Danks, the original Dankster.
This dude is a lying coward who says one thing publicly while spewing hate. This dude is mentally unstable. We're going to be diving in to the right-hand man, or the ex-right-hand man, to Tucker Carlson, and now stirring drama over at TPUSA, who presents himself as that good boy, you know, the principal writer. Actually, the guy who came up with the idea for Charlie Kirk to do the Charlie Kirk Show in the first place is what I was told. But anonymously behind the shadows, a few years ago, he was posting as Charles X 11 or Charles the 12th on AutoAdmit, which he's taking all these posts down. But there, he's actually a raging bigot, dropping N-bombs, hard R's, doxing women, talking nasty about pregnant women, and mocking minorities. This dude is a lying coward who says one thing publicly while spewing hate in the shadows. And think about what's in his mind if that's what he was doing, and got fired from Tucker Carlson's Fox show for being a racist bigot and mocking minorities and saying all of these hateful things. If that's in his mind, that doesn't just change because he got fired, all right? Especially at his age. We're gonna rip through showing reports and quotes, and if this doesn't make you upset, if this doesn't make you feel duped, if this isn't getting your attention, I don't know what else to tell you. These dudes over there at TPUSA are lying to all of us. They're trying to make us believe that Candace is making shit up. They're trying to make us believe that one thing is true when one isn't, and they're not being truthful. That's not TP faith. That's not, what is that anyways? There's no such thing as TPUSA faith, because they're lying. They're liars. So first up, CNN drops this bombshell, all right? Tucker Carlson's top writer resigns after secretly posting racist and sexist marks in an online forum. The 4 p.m. Eastern time, July 11th, 2020. Right around that COVID time, remember that, huh? So he says here, would you, oh my gosh. The stuff that he says is just absolutely insane. This week, the writer Blake Neff responded to a thread started by another user in 2018 with the subject line, "Would you let a jet black Congo N-word do LASIK eye surgery on you for 50% off?" Neff wrote, "I wouldn't get LASIK from an Asian for free, so no." The subject line was not censored on the forum. And on June 5th, Neff wrote, "Black dudes staying inside playing Call of Duty is probably one of the biggest factors keeping crime down." That's what this dude thinks about Black Americans, or Black people, I guess. On June 24th, Neff commented, "Honestly, given how tired Black people always claim to be, maybe the real crisis is their lack of sleep." What are you trying to insinuate here, bro? What are you saying here, dog? On June 26th, Neff wrote that the only people who care about changing the name of the NFL's Washington Redskins are white libs and their university-educated pets. And over the course of 5 years, Neff has maintained a lengthy thread in which he has derided a woman and posted information about her dating life that has invited other users to mock her and invade her privacy. There has at times also been overlap between some material he posted or saw on the forum and Carlson's show. So that means that this dude writing Tucker Carlson's show on Fox slipped in some racial slurs, some underlying thought-provoking stuff. Neff's abhorrent conduct on this forum was never divulged to the show or the network until Friday. So he got through for quite some time saying all this stuff, at which point we swiftly accepted his resignation. That's not a resignation, okay? I've done resignations before. Look, I used to work in the corporate world. I was a manager before at hotels and restaurants all over the country. I've been fired, but I was offered to resign, so it didn't affect my future, if you will, right? But this is going to affect your future no matter who you are, right? So no matter what you do, resign or not, make no mistake, actions such as his cannot and will not be tolerated at any time in any part of our workforce. Now, granted, this is CNN, but they're quoting directly from what the site had up on it. I looked, I could not find even a snapshot or a screenshot of these things. So they have been completely scrubbed. Just keep looking at this CNN thing. And the more I read through it, the more I'm like, geez, this dude is mentally unstable. All right. And this is the guy out here trying to tell everyone that they're going to bring Candace Owens on and then pull a whoop-de-doo and give a 24-hour time frame and then not do a call-in. Like, everybody talking smack on Candace Owens because she won't show up or whatever the excuse is. Sure, I think that it is important that she does show up, whether or not, I mean, she's put her whole career up on this. So I do think that she should show up. Whether or not it's the 15th and she's got a show and it's a holiday, whatever, your entire career at this point for the last 3 months has been about this show. I mean, Charlie Kirk. So I think that everything should go on pause and she should go there. But they quickly made the decision for her. There's a lot of controversy just around that, okay? But either way, they could just send her a link and she could dial in, right? She could come in on a link. So I don't know. I think that's a little strange. The whole situation reeks to me like not being trustworthy, not being open and honest, not being faithful, all right? So you can go on and on with all of these things that he said, right? And they have it all over BBC and New York Times, you know, and there's a lot of other things. I mean, over on the New York Times, and there's all these different articles. I'm not going to pull them up. You can take my word for it or go look it up yourself. But Neff literally jokes about foodie faggots. That's what he says. He's saying homophobic trash. All right. And to contradict that, in Tucker's book, and yeah, he's in Tucker's book, Ship of Fools, acknowledgement section, Carlson credits Neff for providing research and greatly improving our nightly show. Improving? This guy's anonymously slurs, degrades everything, but he's the golden boy of research, right? Coward contradicts his own professional image every time he logs in. This guy is despicable. The fact that they have displayed him as this nice, sweet boy that everyone can trust. Dude, trust me, before I knew about this stuff, he had me going too. But that's just not who he is, man. He is a nasty slime dog. What is coming out? And 2025 is going to roll into 2026. It's been the year of truth. Everybody's learning about what is actually going on in this world. You can't hide, all right? If you've got something that you've done that is going to come out, okay? If there's something nasty that you've done to someone, if there's something rude, if there's something that could destroy your credibility or destroy your career, it's going to come out. If you murdered somebody and you didn't tell anybody and you tried to hide it, it's going to come out. And to the opposite, if you didn't, it won't. Because truth actually wins. And despite what everybody says about, oh, the good guys don't win, the bad guys always win, that's not true. It's propaganda. Truth and goodness always wins. It might seem like the bad guys win only because that's what's put in front of you. But the truth is, good overcomes evil every single time. All right? Neff mocked Sandra Bland's death with making comments about these Sandra Bland's sugar-free shortbreads, but then contradicts himself in a Daily Caller article. The Daily Caller article, that's a hard one to say. On December 2014, he advocated for charter school reforms to help underserved kids. You know, if people are eating sugar-free shortbreads, I can't imagine that they're living the most wealthful life. So if you're going to come out here and say that and then talk about advocating charter schools to reform underserved kids, that's two very complete perspectives that you're trying to display in public and then hide behind a keyboard and just rip out. This one's pretty rough. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh my gosh. You guys, when not making his own bigoted comments, Neff has shown a willingness to respond to others who were, without expressing any hesitation, much less disgust about what they've said. For instance, in 2016, he replied to a thread with the title, "Mary Poppins Gets Raped by a Pack of Wild N-Words at the Park with Kids Watching." So he responded to this. He was like, oh yeah, and Jesse said, I'll probably put it up what Jesse said. Take it away, Jesse.
He responded to a thread that was titled, "Mary Poppins Getting Graped by a Pack of Wild N-Bombs." He saw that thread and he's like, let's get down. That's one I got to get my 2 cents in, dude. I got to get my 2 cents in on this thread.
So he responds to this, "Dykes get wrong cum at cum bank. N-word pops out. Dykes get wrong cum at cum bank and a black hard N pops out." Dude, are you serious? This is how this guy thinks, bro. Like I've had crazy thoughts, okay? I've had crazy thoughts. We all have. I'm probably a little bit more radical in my thought-provoking sense than some others, many others. But this, Dykes get wrong cum at a cum bank and a racial black comes out? That's what he's thinking, bro. And then it says again, just last month, Neff replied to a comment on the thread that said he and the hard ends, the N-words, the black N slurs, and he's not using this in like a Nick Fuentes type of way. He's using this in a way that hurts. And the N-words are always honor students or some BS. The language on both posts was not censored on the forum. Last month, Neff mocked a user who said they were leaving the board over concerns about the rampant racism on it. In a now deleted comment, the user implored others to consider the current environment, writing, "The country is undergoing a great awakening to racist injustices throughout society. Maybe you should take this priority to consider whether continuing to post here is morally defensible at all. Even if you aren't posting deranged shit, I don't think it is defensible, which is why I'm leaving." And on June 16th, Neff responded by quoting the user's words and adding, "LMAO, laughing my ass off. If you think this shit will save you when the mob comes for you, good riddance." The language notably echoed Carlson's comment 8 days before when he said, "Remember that when they came for you." And remember in February 2018, a user on AutoAdmit posted, "At some point in the future, all your XO posts with IRL name will be public record." One person commented, "I stand by every post." Neff upvoted that comment. So he knew he was going to be fully doxed behind a racist, slurred, disgusting, hidden anonymous account. He saw that post while he's working with Fox, I suppose, at this time. I don't know the timeline. I'm not Candace. Don't ask me for timelines. And he stood by that post. He upvoted the post. So this guy, dude. When he had just started working at Fox News, Neff was apparently less cautious and more willing to risk exposing his identity for a chance to show off to his fellow posters. One night in February of 2017, according to his LinkedIn, which would have been Neff's second month with Carlson at Fox News, Carlson tripped over his words as introducing a guest. The phrase Carlson was trying to say was, even for the host's florid style, a little out of place, sweet treats of scholarship. Within minutes, Neff was posting to AutoAdmit about Carlson's use of the phrase, which other posters gleefully noted was a reference to something said on the forum. Neff's caution since then may have resulted in fewer Easter eggs being slipped into Carlson's scripts, but there has still been at least some overlap between the forum and the show, including recent weeks of this article. Sometimes material Neff encountered on the forum found its way onto Carlson's show. For instance, on June 25th, Neff responded to a post that quoted a news story about coronavirus-related interest in Montana real estate. He wrote on the forum, interest in real estate in Bozeman, Missoula, and the Flathead Valley has been on the rise for years. That night in his monologue, Carlson said, "You're starting to consider maybe moving to Bozeman, and why wouldn't you?" Bro, the guy is slipping in shit from his sick website that he's on, disgusting website. And Carlson doesn't know any of this, and he's getting fed lines by this freaking moron, disgusting, savage, just nasty-minded person. Dude, Tucker. Come on, Tucker. What the hell is going on, bro? I mean, we've got more for you. In some cases, language Neff used on the forum ended on the show. I just can't believe it. Neff wrote on the forum, "It is your effing right as an American to wear whatever t-shirt you want and hold whatever political views you want." Christ. The next night on his show, Carlson said, "And they can wear whatever shirts they want. You thought this was true. You thought this was your right as an American." Other times, Neff may have used knowledge he had gained in his job at Fox News to post to the board. On the afternoon of July 1st, Neff started, I mean, this is like June, the date, a couple days later, then July, the date, a couple days later. Neff started a thread titled, "Two GOP senators propose replacing Columbus Day with Juneteenth." In the thread, he wrote, "Coming out this afternoon, if it all isn't already out." That afternoon, it was public. That night, the proposal was discussed on Carlson's show. Having an impact on this type of stuff as a racist bigot, you can do whatever. Look, Jesse said, I don't mind if you are saying these things and you're just out and open about it, and this is just how you are. Like, there's a musician, Ryan Upchurch. He drops the N-bomb. Nobody has a problem with it because he's not hiding behind a keyboard in a ghost account maliciously talking like this. He's just talking smack and he's being himself. Same with Nick Fuentes. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not black, but I don't have a problem with it. I grew up around black people. I was born in Nashville, raised in Memphis. I lived around blacks, went to a black high school. Well, not a black high school, but there was a lot, 50-50 blacks and whites, and I was the oddball because I'm not either one. So you've got somebody running a faith-based, political campaign-driven organization that has disgustingly used racial comments, disgusting, nasty verbiage against a sexist cruelty. I mean, he's talking dangerously mentally. It's just something that doesn't change. Whether or not you're just in your zone and hopping with the boys and chatting in your little chat and can't wait. Yeah, that's a little crazy, bro, especially at that level of journalism or whatever you want to call it. The guy is just something else, man. I got one more. I'm going to give you one more. More recently, in February of 2020, this isn't that long ago, all right? It's like 5-6 years ago. Neff called Mormonism an inherently cucky religion. On June 5th, a user on the forum commented in a thread, "Didn't Michael Brown rob a store and attack a police officer? And wasn't George Floyd a piece of shit with a long criminal record?" JFC Libs, another person, commented, "It doesn't matter to these people." Neff replied, "It does. The violent criminals are even more heroic." On June 16th, the user started a separate thread about a video showing a black man assaulting an elderly white woman in New York. Neff commented on the thread, "And to think if this guy got killed in some freak incident while being arrested, we'd have to endure at least 3 funerals in his honor." Neff wrote the reps Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib, known collectively as the Squad, want to make your country a dumping ground for people from third world shitholes. Like Jesse, I could probably say that he's not too wrong about that. Responding to a thread on June 27th about whether whites fear what's going to happen to them in 10-20 years, Neff wrote, "White fears that's going to happen to them in 10 to 20 years. Neff wrote that he has no plans to stay in the country that long. In December of 2019, he said that once Democrats have the majorities to go full fuck whitey, things are going to get really wacky really quick. He argued at the time that there is a large minority of whites who are fully supportive of the F-Whitey agenda and that there's a suicidal impulse to Western peoples that honestly feels almost biological in origin. That's ridiculous. That is psychological operation. That is unhealthy, terminal online people being fed stuff that is just going to lead them astray emotionally, spiritually, and all of that. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think it's important to talk about this stuff if we're going to be having this massive discourse about Candace and about TPUSA and TPUSA Faith and Blake Neff playing the good boy. And there's a reason why they put him front and center to read off this lawyer script about introducing Candace to the show and addressing these issues that she's brought up, right? There's a reason why they chose him, okay? It's because they believe we're all stupid and they want us to think that they're good people, and they put Blake in front because he has that look and he can play that nice little white boy, I'm just a sweet innocent boy look. But don't let it be twisted, man. The kid is a fucking freak.
They call me Danks on live. Came up out the dark, now I'm in this spot. Turn that grind and stop playing in my check. Stop.